Ethel Rom, another council delegate.
This is for Marge and Larry. Fast question. We just dodged a bullet here. Just to watch television and see what happened up and down the coast. We had a few hours at the Blue Wing. I don't know how long you were down. How long?
6 days.
Did you have water anywhere as well?
We had hot water that started on Thursday.
So the question is, they're saying this once in 100-year storm is happening every other year and will go to every year. That tells us that RIOC has got to have in place some response. So that's my question. How do you get them focused on that? And last point, Louis Kahn what a surprising thing. When did he do that plan for the 73? He looks at the island and says that my field is construction. The whole bottom part of our island is landfill. Any big storm, it'll be washed away. And the reason that thing is so expensive is that he put 4-foot square pylons all the way down to bedrock. The southern part of our island is going nowhere. Well, that gives RIOC a place to start.
I'm not starting with you, Margie. I'm starting with Larry.
I think it's a good question. It's not something that at this point I've focused on really. I mean, I do know from what I've read and spoken to people that they have asked, there have been questions about what's the evacuation plan in case the island needs to evacuate. From what I've read, not firsthand knowledge, that it has not either been made public or it's been kept to a certain few people. I think that's something that needs to be, people need to know if Roosevelt Island has to be evacuated, what's the plan on. I think there are other things that the board will have to look at as time goes on in terms of working with the individual building owners to make sure that perhaps the necessity for power outages won't be needed, perhaps improving the seawall. But it's something I would have to think about, and I really would be unfair if I gave an answer now because I don't have one, but it was something that I would certainly work on as a board member, make sure what happened this time maybe is minimized the next time it happens, and it will happen.
Yeah, we do have a plan. I don't think it's a great plan. I think it seems adequate, but every time there's another storm, you find holes in the plan. We had some issues with Irene that we fixed, but hurricanes aren't as devastating as other calamities, and I know that sounds strange to say after the devastation, but the good news with a hurricane is you get notice. And if we have to evacuate, we will have the time and the resources because we do work with a team from OEM, the Office of Emergency Management. They have designated places for us to evacuate to. We have our red buses, which no other real community has. And so in addition to city buses, we have our red buses that would help us evacuate. There was a way, some kind of a plan with barges if there was some reason why we had to get off the island and couldn't do it with buses. I can't give you the specifics of that, but they had deals with the Circle Line and everybody else where they could take people off that way. So it really depends on what the emergency is. If it's the type where you have time to get off the island, we will have time. The real problem is people have to cooperate. People can't decide that they're going to tough it out because then you get in that time crunch where you've only got another hour and you got to get the whole island off. That shouldn't happen. So if people do get out when they're told to get out, we have places for them to go to, we have means to get them there. We still do not have a foolproof plan by any means. This is going to be the command center here. There is a generator that'll keep it going. We have to look at that plan again now in light of this past hurricane and see where we have to fix it, because I'm sure we're going to have to update it.
Would anyone like to address that from RIRA?
about the Roosevelt Island Community Coalition has suggested to Cornell that they make their buildings hurricane worthy. So they'll be prepared for the 100-year storm. And so they're actually looking into, to their credit, they're actually looking into bulking up their development so that we could all use it in case we need a place to shelter in place. I think that's what it's called, shelter in place.
Just a little background. This is something that I've been very much involved with. I've seen the emergency plan for RIOC, along with the chair of the planning committee of RIRA and a member of the RIOC board of directors. Unfortunately, we all had to sign non-disclosure statements, so I can't share it with you. I think it would be please do.
Yeah, as nutty as that sounds, because what's the point of having a secret emergency plan? It doesn't make sense. But Homeland Security, and I don't know if this is since 9/11 or whatever, doesn't want us to say to everybody, here's how we're going to do it. Because if it's going to be a terrorist attack, they're going to first make sure we can't do whatever it is and then attack. So they're all concerned about it. But as far as whether or not there is a place for us to go for a natural disaster, that stuff I think can be released. I know.
Once upon a time, there were a series of meetings that were organized by RIOC, which included the Office of Emergency Management, the state entity, SEMO, island building managers, RIRA, and a variety of other island activists who would meet on a regular basis to discuss the potential for a variety of emergencies and how to react to them. Those meetings haven't been held in a long time, and perhaps those might be reinstated.